Good evening, good evening, good evening, and inspired greetings to each and every one of you. I'm Stephanie D. Burroughs, Dr. Burroughs, president of Stephanie Speaking. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've been on. I know, but I've had a lot of things to deal with and to get through, and still in the process of getting back on track. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about finding the gold. For those of you who know, and for those of you who don't know, I am a speaker, trainer, and business navigator. So tonight I'm talking to you from the business navigation side of the business. And finding the gold. One of the questions I'm constantly asked by business owners is, how do I find the contracts? Where do I look for the contracts? Good evening, Luciana. Thank you for joining me. And when I talk about finding the gold in this particular case, that gold is, where do I find the contracting opportunities? Where do I find the request for proposals, otherwise known as RFPs? Where do I find the request for information before the proposal goes out? And they just may want to find out, and that's called an RFI, and they may want to find out who's out there in the marketplace that can provide a particular good or service, product or service. Or I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to see who might be interested in a particular project. And there are a number of different ways in which the information is put out there. But one of the questions I get asked is, where do I find it? And I kind of have to wonder, what are my business owners doing? What are those minority women, small veteran business owners doing? Are you even looking for on your own before reaching out to ask questions? And this is probably good for anybody regarding anything, quite frankly, because people are always looking for a quick answer, and there is no one quick answer. It really depends on your marketplace. Who are you looking to do business with? Will it be corporate America? Is it the commercial entities? Is it going to be the federal government? Is it the state government? And at what level of state government? If it's federal government, which departments, what agencies, who are you looking to do business with? So there's a lot of prep that has to be done before you start looking. But if you've already done your preparation, and if you already know who your marketplace is, and if you already know your niche market within that marketplace, then the next thing is, have you even looked at their websites? I have to wonder. And the reason I wonder is because I get so many calls asking this very question. And yes, I do navigate people using the web, online, sharing a desktop so that they can see where I'm going and receive those links. But I have to wonder, did you Google? Did you go to the websites of those organizations that you're looking to do business with? And if you did you search? Did you go into the search box? And if you didn't, go in there. For instance, if it were corporate or even commercial, go into their search box and look for things like not small business, supplier diversity, or vendor, or supplier, something along those lines. Just to see, because more likely than not, if it's a corporation, they're going to have a supplier diversity program, and definitely they're going to have an online vendor portal where you will need to input information. Now, for the corporations, I got to tell you, in a commercial, you're not going to see the opportunities. But there's other ways in which you find out information. I'm not going to get into that now because it's a totally different process. But if you'd like to know more, you know how you can reach me. Right on my webpage, on the homepage, there's a button you can click for a connection meeting, just so we can find out who you are, what you're doing, and what your needs are, and I can let you know how I can meet your needs. But I have another opportunity for you as well to take advantage of, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. The other thing is, when you're talking about government, now government is much more transparent in terms of what opportunities are coming up or going out or are out already, and even those that have been awarded, so that you can go back and take a look to see who won and how much was the bid for, and a whole lot more information. That's there for you in the government space. And particularly, you can look at, for the feds, any contracts that are $25,000 and more, they're going to be posting that in FedBizOps. So just go to fbo.gov. That's www.f like Frank, B like boy, O like Oscar.gov. Because they're using more and more reverse auction, there are a couple of companies out there that are doing that for them. So don't be surprised if you go and you see a link that tells you to go directly to, say, FedBid, for instance. I know that one I know well. The other one I'm just finding out about. So those are places that you can begin the process. But again, go to the websites because of the agencies or departments that you want to do business with. Why? Because they also put out forecasts. Now, there's no guarantee that the contract opportunities you see listed in those forecasts are actually going to go out in that time frame that they have listed. It could be first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter 2017. Even you'll see things there from prior years because they haven't yet had the appropriations, the dollars to appropriate to that, and particularly they're looking at those items that are needed now. So maybe they had some wonderful ideas and some things they want to put out on the marketplace, in the marketplace, but not ready just yet to appropriate funds to that. So FedBid is a great place to look in the nuts so that you can see what's out, whether or not it was set aside, whether or not it was sole source, whether or not it's what it's set aside for, whether it's for stable small business, or is it set aside for small business? Is it set aside for women-owned small business or economic disadvantaged women-owned small business? Is it an 8A set-aside contract? I mean, there are a number of different programs that the feds have, and if you're not involved in that, believe me, that's why I'm here as your navigator to help you through the process. I know. It can appear to be daunting. It can appear to be a lot to take in, but you know what? I find that as I work with the clients over a period of time and share with them and not only show them, but give them the links to the various different sites that are going to be beneficial to them, I'm finding that they're growing more and more confident, and now they're able to go in on their own and they can find the opportunities because I'm also showing them the different ways in which to search. And there's a number of different things on those sites that if you just take the time to play with it or read the guide. How about that? Read the guide. Or watch the video, which explains to you a number of different ways. You got to take the time to do the research. Most important thing under planning for your business and planning for going after these contracts is to do the research to find out how things are done and go to do the research on the sites that you're working with. You know, I find so many people that are looking for that quick fix, that quick answer, and I've had I've had some clients say, "Well, can't you just tell me who I can go to what to do?" No, I could, but that would not be proper. It would not be the right way to go about it. You really want to take the time to do the research. Why? Because they want to know. Even the corporations want to know that you took time out to check them out, to find out how they do business, what their mission is, what their vision is, what their products are that they sell or their services that they sell. Worst thing in the world is to go and try to talk to somebody and you don't know what they sell. And if you have an idea of what they sell, then you got an idea of what in the world they may buy, and then you'll know whether or not they buy what you sell. But there's a different way on the corporate side and the commercial side to get to that information, as I said earlier. However, getting that information from the feds and from your state and local and public agencies is much more transparent. It's really important that if you know let's just take an example. You wanted to do business with the Army. And there are a number of different parts to the Army, but I'll just name Army and I'm going to say, how about the Army Corps of Engineers? If you go and take a look at their site to see what their forecasts are, that could be a little bit daunting sometimes, but go in, take a look, take the time. See, doing the research means you have pushed out the time to really read, understand, read with understanding, I should say, to read with understanding. And if you have questions, write questions down. You can, and that's what your navigator is there to do for you, is answer the questions and provide you with much more detail. But I'm concerned that folks don't want to take the time to read, and that's really important to those you want to do business with. They need to know that you took the time out to peruse their websites, to look in specific areas like small business. You would go if you're looking up under the Army. You want to see how to doing business with. Okay, these are just keywords that one can use to look up their site specifically for understanding how to do business with them. I've taken a lot of things for granted because I'm so used to navigating the myriad of websites. And yes, there are a lot, which is why it's important for you to know who your marketplace is and who your niche market is and really get tight on that. Maybe later on you begin to broaden, but start with one you can really master the process with. And it takes time. Like all things, it takes time. And you want to really understand whether or not they buy what you sell is a reason why looking things up on FedBizOps, even if they've already gone out, looking it up by the NAICS codes, looking it up by the classification codes, just to see, do they buy what you sell? And then looking to see whether or not there were contracts already let that have been awarded for what you do. You can do keyword searches. I mean, there's just numerous ways to search. And keep in mind, when you're dealing with the feds, that's international. So it's not just national, but it's also international. So who is it that you can service? And so if you can also look to see what contracts came out in your state specifically for what you sell. There's so many different ways to do your searches. But at least take a stab at it. At least spend time in the websites for the agencies that you want to do business with. Perhaps you want to do business with a public agency, one of the departments of a Department of Transportation, or your rail transit agency, or your bus transit agency, or I don't know, maybe the bridges, a bridge authority, and there are multiple because different bridges are going to have their own offices, and perhaps it depends on your state whether or not it is independent and they do their own bidding. Or if they may do a cooperative, or are they putting out their contracts under the state? For instance, I know Department of Transportation here in New Jersey, while they will buy off of state contracts all the other products and services when it comes to construction, they put out their own contracts. So you got to know how the different agencies operate. Will it be your utilities? Let's not forget the utilities, people. Opportunities there. Will it be in the penal system? Oh my goodness, yes, lots of work there, lots of opportunities there, and you'd be surprised at some of the things that might come out. But the thing is to do the research. That's what I'm trying to get across. I know that word for some of you, it's like I don't want to do it. Reminds you of school, but guess what? You have to. You have to be an educated business owner, just like you want to be educated consumers. Be an educated business owner, and the education is about the customer that you want to serve. Know your customers. Understand their needs. Not that you're selling what you want to sell to them, but you are providing them with the product or service that they want and need and have identified. So I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not going to be long. I need to get ready for my yoga class. I've been out all day, and I can't wait to just share a little bit about that too. Maybe I will give you a little bit on that, because the bottom line with all of this is when you do have that information, you feel so much more empowered. You feel so much more ready and prepared when you have the opportunity to speak to, say, a small business representative from that organization that you've been reading their information and learning more and more about them, or that supplier diversity representative for the corporations and commercial entities that have programs for minority women, small businesses, and also veterans, and even and also LGBTQ under the corporations. And with government, it's going to be a little bit different. However, you'll understand and get to know what those programs are as well, because for the government, they're going to tell you what they have available, whether or not they have set aside programs, and if so, what they are and what's required for you to be eligible to participate. Bottom line is this. I just want you to take the time to do a little research, write your questions down. I love being able to navigate you through and be able to provide you with the answers, but not just the answers, giving you the opportunity to see where those answers are, see what's on those websites. Here's something that I get from a number of clients also. They'll say, I've been to the same website you've been on, but I didn't see that information you're showing me now. Wow. What I get is you're not taking the time to read. There are many links. When you see a link, that at least take the time to read through the page, from top to bottom, like scan it for information that's going to be relevant for you. And when you see a link that has some wording that you just have to open your mind to all different ways in which to come upon that information, you click the link and read. I know with many, what happens is when the page opens up, you're reading what's right there in front of you. Scroll down. My goodness, I can tell you so many people have missed out on so many wonderful opportunities. There's so much information to help them think differently, to expand their thought process about how to go after this work, how to find the work, who to speak to, when opportunities are coming up that you can speak to someone, or how to find their contact information, the right people to talk to. It's all there. It really is. And this is just on the research side. There's so much other information out there that I want to be able to share with you. But guess what? I already did. You just don't know where to look for it, so I'm going to tell you. www.bigcontractbootcamp.com. That's www.b as in boy, ig as in George, contract, contract, bootcamp, bootcamp.com. Again, if you go to the www.bigcontractbootcamp.com and check out the information that's on a landing page and really make a decision, is this something that you want to take advantage of? Because it is just that. It is actually 6 topics with a total of 24 lessons, 24 subjects. The topics are on purpose, planning, process, preparation, paperwork, and promotion. And then there are 4 topics under each of those 6 subjects. So take a look. I encourage you to take advantage of that training. This is a digital university. It is a training that you get a chance to work at your own pace, at your own speed. So all the information you need to know about it is at the www.bigcontractbootcamp.com, because I'd like to see people really ready, just ready to go, because you've already done the set by taking advantage of the Big Contract Bootcamp and going through that training program. And if you have the questions, for those of you, you'll see once you're in there all that you're entitled to as a part of that program. And you'll have an opportunity to ask questions in the private Facebook group that I have just for those who are taking advantage of the various different programs I have out there, as well as taking advantage of being a client of mine. And so that's a private Facebook group for that. I just want you all to step into your marketplace prepared and ready to go. Prepared and ready to go. Does that make sense? Doesn't it make sense that one would do that? And it will take time. I don't want you to think, because with government, even with corporate, that's a whole nother story. I'm not even going to talk about that right now. But it takes time to get in. And the quicker you ramp up with the knowledge and the information, the less time it will take you. But be prepared. And when I say it takes time, I talked to an associate of mine who works for the feds, and she said to me, and in fact, there's a couple of them that said this to me. On average, it takes about 2 years to get in. But there are and I would say that's if you're looking to get in as a prime. You know what? You don't have to. There are other ways to get in without you having to be the prime. And I think those other ways, if you've never done any government contracting before, and I'm talking about any Like, for instance, with your state or your public agencies, your municipalities, your counties, your cities, your townships. Start small to see what you can do and how they do what they do. I would say start small so you can really get to know the process and become comfortable with it. There's so much more I want to share with you, but you know what? Just get to the Big Contract Boot Camp. Yes, you'll see me there too. It's all video with a workbook, and there's going to be homework for you to do. Yes, there is homework. Even my clients, when they work with me, they're like, oh my God, Dr. Burroughs, you gave me so much work that I have to do. Homework. And here's the thing, you have to do the homework, because if you come back to me without having done it, we can't move to the next phase, because the next phase is dependent upon the work that you were supposed to do in the homework that was given. So being prepared and taking the time out to do the work up front will save you so much time and so much effort and aggravation and annoyance and whatever else, what other words you can come up with. It will just really save you in the long run. And you'll be so much more empowered. You'll feel in control. So when an opportunity comes up for you to get in front of one of the contracting officers or small business reps or OSDBU's, Office of Small Disadvantaged Business Utilization, I'm giving it to you both acronym and long term, because government is filled with acronyms. So I want you to become used to that and get accustomed to that. And if you hear an acronym, don't freak. Just go Google it online. Government acronym for acronyms, and whole listings will come up and booklets will come up. A lot of things will come up, and you can look it up. Back in the day, we used to be told, go to the encyclopedia. You don't have to anymore. You can go online now to just get to the information to get you where you need to be to get the actual information from the horse's mouth, so to speak. See, it's not all about Google. That's just to give you the links to get to where you need to find out from the horse's mouth what they want, how they want it, and how they go about doing business with companies such as yours. So I just wanted to share that with you today. And this is all, it was on my mind as I came away from an awesome, awesome program today. It was a program over at Hudson County Community College at the Culinary Center. It was a lunch and learn. And I went there with the express purpose of, yes, I wanted to hear the speaker and I wanted to hear what he was going to share. But I also wanted to reconnect with some people that I've done business with in the past at the university, at the college rather, and had a chance to talk with them about some potential new opportunities, new programming. And I'm excited about that because they're receptive and, they explained to me what was going on and why I hadn't, things that I thought were going to transpire this year did not. So it's all good. And that's why it's so important to stay in touch with people, to continue to dialogue, to find out and stay abreast of what's taking place with them. Same as with those that you want to go after contracts with. And remember this, one of the reasons why it may take a little while is because maybe the contracts went out and they're term contracts. So it could be lasting for 2 to 5 years, who knows, and perhaps beyond if they're extending it. So that may be a reason why you're not seeing something right away. But there's always some place to look. But I'm saying to start with that niche market of yours first. And I'm sure that if it's a large enough niche market, meaning in this case, I'm going to just use the feds, a particular agency, there may be a number of different, particular department with a number of different divisions. How about that? So don't just look in one place within that agency. I've seen people do that and they get stuck in that one spot and they forget about looking in other opportunities. There's potentially other opportunities. If not, then maybe you have 2 or 3 departments that you're looking at, or 2 or 3 agencies that you're looking at that are related in terms of whether or not you're going after Department of Defense, DOD, or if you're going after civilian. There's a lot. I don't want you to get scared. I want you to be excited. I want you to get ready because, look, last year, 2015, $91 billion was spent with small business, $91 billion with a B dollars. I know a few of my clients that got a little piece of that. What about you getting a little piece of that? And you don't have to get it directly. You can get it through other measures like teaming and subcontracting and mentor protege programs and joint ventures. Anyway, I said I'd be short, so I'm going to stop now because I need to get ready for my yoga class. And I'm excited because, and this is just in case somebody from Plank Talk Nation is there. Yes, I did get my plank in today, and it was easier for me today than it has been for the last 4 days to get my 1 minute in. So I know by next week I'm going to be moving it up to 2 minutes. And yes, I want to be like Candace Camille to get to that 15-minute mark. She gave me a goal to reach for. I was watching her and listening to her, so I'm excited about that. And I'm feeling much stronger as a result of doing these planks on a daily basis. Hey, you guys, remember, your health is everything. And to be successful in business, you got to take care of it. So you got to, whatever that exercise is or whatever your routine is, make sure you're doing it. And I'm really enjoying now. First couple of days I wasn't, but I'm enjoying now doing the plank, and I'm getting more and more ambitious because I feel what it's doing to me in just such a short time as 5 days. So now I'm going to get to my yoga, and the light in me bows to and honors the light in each and every one of you. I hope that all that I've shared with you so far has made sense to you. And if it hasn't, you can also reach me by scheduling with me a connection meeting at www.meetme.so, S-O, that's meetme.so/connection meeting. And let's see where you want to go, what you're doing currently, how you're doing it, and I'll share with you how I may can be of assistance to you. And if you want to know more about me, just go to my website or Google me. I'm all over the place. I've been doing this a long time. God bless each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you for hanging in with me, Luciana.